NFL preseason resumes this Friday night, week 2 of action. We have a pair of national TV games. I'm going to give you the first game on NFL Network this Friday night at 7 Eastern. First game of the week, free for you, side and total with analysis. Titans Falcons coming up right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, right back here on Wager Talk TV. And we're breaking down the start of week 2 of the NFL preseason. We got week 3 next week and then a couple weeks off, and we'll get ready for the regular season. So teams are still trying to figure out their rosters. And, of course, there is value bet in the NFL preseason. And you can see some crazy line moves that just tell you this is all information-based. And we've seen a bit of that here in this Tennessee-Atlanta game. Now, I'm doing this on Wednesday afternoon, about 2 days before the game takes place, because I wanted to get you the initial info out. So if I see any major changes in game plan or quarterback rotations, I will drop them in the comments below here as we get closer to the Friday kickoff. So be sure to check the comments throughout the week. Tennessee opened as about a 3.5-point favorite. Money came in on the Titans this week. It's now up to 5, even 5.5 out there. Total has also risen. Open 35.5. It's been bet up to 37.5. A lot of 38s out there. So we're crossing over some key numbers, especially with the over-unders. Keep in mind, 37 is the key number with totals. We don't see a lot in the regular season anymore. Look, I started 29 years ago, August of 1996. This will be my 30th football season coming up as a full-time professional handicapper. And back in the 90s, I saw lots of 37s and 41s. Those were the key numbers with totals. We don't really even see many 41s in the regular season. Really never see 37s unless it's a weather game, snow or maybe fog, the ice bowl. But in the preseason, we see it a lot, and it really is a key number. In fact, over the past decade and a half, if you just blindly played every game 37 or less over, everything 37.5 or higher under, you've made money. You've hit about 57% on the blind. And I do think there is some value now with this under 38. It looks like an over-adjustment, no pun intended, from 35.5 up to 38. So I do like the under here. And I would also go a little contrarian to the line move here and take the Falcons as the home dog at +5, even 5.5. Now I'm going to dig into both of these with the quarterback rotations, coaches, everything in a moment. But I'll let you know, I do not agree with either line move. Most of the time it is sharp money, but it's also information-based. And let's not forget, last week, the Tennessee Titans, who were the worst team in the NFL last year, that's why they had the number 1 overall pick, also saw money come in their game at Tampa. They went from being a 1-point to a 3.5-point road favorite. That didn't work out too well. Tampa Bay smoked them 29-7. And meanwhile, of course, last week, the Falcons got the home win against Detroit, or I lost at home, rather, 17-10. But that was a little misleading. That was not a full game. They didn't play the fourth quarter. About a minute into the fourth quarter, Norris, the defensive back for the Lions, was injured, snapped his head back, taken off by ambulance. They decided not to finish the game. By the way, drop your comments below. I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. I get it. Games are called short for weather a lot in the preseason with lightning. This was an indoor game in Atlanta. But once again, due to the injury, the teams didn't want to resume after the long delay. I kind of get that. But then again, the fans that were there got shorted basically over 25%, almost 25% of the game. What are your thoughts on this? Was it the right move? Should they continue to play? And don't forget, we have one less preseason game now, 3 instead of 4, which means the backups got even less work because the fourth quarter was all guys fighting for a roster spot. They do have inter-squad scrimmages and practices, so maybe they felt like they'd seen enough already. But what are your thoughts? Drop your opinion below. I really don't have an opinion, but I'd love to hear yours. Should the game continued, or do you think they did the right thing, cutting off basically the entire fourth quarter last Friday night? By the way, neither one of the Falcons started top 2 quarterbacks played last week. They're not expected to play again this week. That is why the line has moved towards Tennessee. But Easton Stick was fantastic last week. 15 for 18, 149 yards, 8.5 yards per pass, a 120 QB rating, and a touchdown in his action against Detroit. Emory Jones, 4 for 5. Wasn't too shabby as well. The two quarterbacks combined had a 117 rating, went 19 for 23 last week. I guess that doesn't help the under any, but it definitely helps the Falcons. Meanwhile, the money is coming on Tennessee in the over, but the Titans looked awful offensively. 7 points scored. They did get the touchdown on one of Cam Ward's 2 drives. Of course, the number 1 overall draft pick, Cam Ward, will likely be the starting quarterback. Will Levis is out for the entire season with shoulder surgery. So they're trying to get Ward extra work. He went 2 series last week. Looked mediocre. 89 QB rating, 5 for 8. 8.5 yards per pass. Pretty good. And they did get the touchdown drive with him in there. Didn't score the rest of the game, though. Brandon Allen was at backup. Tim Boyle was at backup, but he won't be this week. He was released. And this is a situation where Tennessee does not look like a very good offensive team right now. So that's why overall I lean towards the under, even though the Falcon quarterbacks look pretty good. Though they lost the game, they should be focused. Coming off a home loss back at home this week. Obviously, Tennessee will be focused after having a terrible season, a terrible game last week. But they're the road team here. So I do think there's some value with the Falcons. Even though their backup quarterbacks are playing, they played well last week. And I do like Atlanta. I would fade that line move just like fading it worked last week, fading the Titans. Falcons plus the 5.5 would be my recommendation. I would also lean, as I said, under 38. Atlanta looked okay on offense last week, even though they only had 10 points in 3 quarters. Quarterbacks moved the ball pretty well. But another reason I do lean under is we've got an offensive coach, obviously, with Tennessee. No question about that, former quarterback coach. And that's another reason they're going to work Cam Ward extra heavy here. They got to get him ready for the regular season. But I don't really think that the Titans are facing, favoring offense more than defense one way or the other in this game. And if you look at the overall quotes from both coaches here, I kind of feel that way as well. But the one thing that does jump out to me, though, with the Falcons is Raheem Morris is a defensive coach. Brian Callahan, by the way, the former quarterback coach, now head coach for the Titans. I think he's kind of neutral, probably work a little more at the offense. But once again, they got some real problems with that offense. That's why they had the number 1 overall pick and had to take a quarterback. But Raheem Morris, Falcons head coach, has been a defensive coach for decades and in the NFL. I think he's going to have a little more of a defensive tilt to this game, especially coming off a loss. And these teams, by the way, had a joint practice this week. From what I've heard, the defenses looked a little ahead of the offenses as well. So I like the under 38. Also like the Falcons plus the 5.5. Fading line moves here in both these games. We're definitely getting some extra value. And as crazy as these lines move nowadays, I do think a new approach you want to take. It's not about getting the information. When I started back in the 90s, 29 years ago, it was about getting the information. Now it's readily available. It takes 2 seconds, click of the mouse. Everybody knows the quarterback rotations and the box scores, everything else. Very simple to find. Now it's about what you do with the information. The lines move based on the info. I think sometimes it's an overreaction. I think that is the case in this game. So I like to find opportunities where we can fade the line moves, get several more points of value. Hey, I think that's the case here with the Falcons plus 5.5 and under 38. Let's see how it turns out on Friday night on NFL Network at 7 Eastern. By the way, let me know your thoughts on this game, also that last game being cut short. Also, what other games are you looking at? We have only 2 games on Friday night. The late game, by the way, is Chiefs-Seahawks, also on NFL Network. But we have a huge, count them, huge card. How many we got? 6, 8, 10, 11 games, I believe, this Saturday, and then 2 on Sunday. Even a Monday nighter. Bengals and not my Washington Commanders, how dare you, on Monday night as well. What are your thoughts on some of these other preseason games? If you have some opinions, some information's always key. Drop them in the comments below. Let's learn and earn and win together here on Wager Talk TV. And like I said, if you have an extra 30 seconds, drop some analysis, some information that you're picking up, as that's what the preseason is all about. Liking these free play videos, I will keep them coming. Daily baseball videos each and every day this week. Free play videos for baseball, but also adding some football content here, as you can see with these NFL preseason videos. Of course, the regular season right around the corner. If you're liking it, all I ask is a thumbs up like and a comment below, and I will keep them coming all year long. Also, make sure you subscribe. Over 211,000 subscribers now to Wager Talk TV. Hey, it's free. Don't cost nothing. Sure, you've already subscribed, but you might want to consider clicking that bell as well so you get an instant alert when a free play video, whether it be baseball, football, basketball in a few months, is loaded right here on the channel on a daily basis. And if you'd like to get more information on my best bet service, check out my page, Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com, and you get there quicker with shortcut wt.buzz/SM. It's quite simple. I've been doing this, as I said, for 29 years now. I started in August of 96. This will be my 30th football season beginning. If I have a best bet that I'm personally using, my clients get it. It's always been that way. Every client gets the exact same plays I am personally using, I'm personally winning with on a long-term, consistent basis as a full-time sports investor. And that's how you have to take this, as an investment approach. And if you want to try out my best bet service, we have a 7-day sampler right now, special offer for just $69. That's right, $69, dude. 7 days, all sports, all access. It's baseball every day plus NFL preseason for just $69. It's normally $99. That's an instant 30% discount. No code needed. Or if you're ready to take that serious long-term investment approach like I talk about all the time, you really should lock up a 1-year all access because a couple reasons. First of all, it gets you in the routine of playing every sport every day. You're not picking and choosing which days you jump on or don't jump on. That never works out. You also are going to get every play for this college football season, this pro football season, next year's college basketball and pro basketball season. You're getting all 4 seasons in full when you sign up right now in August. Plus, you're getting the rest of the baseball season, this whole second half here through the World Series. By the way, this is a great time to be playing baseball. Now we're talking football. Everyone's excited. But last year I finished the baseball season on a 57-28 run at this exact point. Also started the college football season last year in September on a 10-3 start. Finished the NFL last year on a 28-3 hot streak. This is a great time to get on board. You can get the rest of baseball the first half of next year. All complete college and pro football seasons coming up. And you can do so for about $1 a play. But you got to use promo code SM365. Go to my page right now, Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com. Select the 1-year all-access, 365-day all-inclusive all-access pass. And be sure to use promo code SM365 at checkout to receive an instant $811 discount. That gets it down to exactly $3 a day, about $1 a play for every football, baseball, basketball, college, and pro best bet for the next 365 days and nights. It's quite simple. If I have a play, every client gets it. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-day, a 1-week sampler, or the 1 year. Every client gets the same plays, but obviously the bigger packages get the cost of entry, cost per play down, so it's a better investment approach. But once again, if you want to try out just 7 days, hey, check out that sampler right now that has a 30% automatic discount. No promo code needed. And when you're ready to take the true long-term investment approach, use promo code SM365 on the 1-year all-access. Oh, by the way, last cut that doesn't go up as a best bet, I average maybe 1 to 3 best bets per day for my clients. I'm very selective, which means that last cut that was just a bit outside is a pretty strong opinion still. Hey, that goes up as a free play on my page. So even if you're doing your own handicapping, if you're not ready to join the best bet service, check out the free play every day. They've been doing incredibly well. In fact, as I record this on Wednesday afternoon, we're 13-3 over the last 3 weeks on those free plays on my page daily with analysis at wagertalk.com. So go check out the free play for tonight, the best bets, the special offers, Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com. And hey, get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. On the way out, you can follow me on social media as well, at Steve Merrill on X and Instagram. You know the deal. 2 R's, 1 L, MERRIL, at Steve Merrill on X and Instagram. Don't forget, thumbs up, like, comment below, and be sure to stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV because you know there's more free play videos coming up next.